Hi, my name is Via Bosses, 10 Emerald, and I will be discussing to you about permutation. First thing and foremost, what is permutation and what comes to your mind when it talks about permutation?
Permutation is an ordered combination, or which we call arrangement of objects in a definite order. This is how we will group the object in a different combination. For example, find the numbers of permutation of letters A, B, C. So what are the possible outcomes of it? The possible outcomes of it will be ABC, ACB, BAC, or just simply jumble those letters. Let's continue. BCA, CAB, and CBA. So there are 6 possible outcomes of it.
So before we proceed to the two types of permutation, we need to know what is factorial means. So factorial means to multiply a series of descending numbers. So note it is descending numbers. So the difference between ascending and descending numbers is ascending is increasing while descending is decreasing. So this stands for factorial sign. It looks like exclamation point, but in mathematics, it's a factorial sign. So let's try to solve this. Suppose you want to arrange your 5 students seated in a row. How many ways are possible? So the solution is n factorial is equal to 5 factorial. So 5 factorial is equals to 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 and times 1. So what is the answer? So there are 120 ways seated in a row. So it is the permutation formula. So our formula here is n factorial over n minus r parenthesis factorial. So the number stands total numbers of object and our r is number of choosing object. For example, A, B, C. So how many total numbers of object are there? So 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 total numbers of object. So our r here, for example, we group it into 2. So A, B. So there are 2 groups of our number of choosing objects. So let's try to solve this. So in how many ways you can arrange 2 letters from the word math? So list all the possible outcomes. So the possible outcomes are MA, MT, MH, AM, AT, AH, TM, TA, TH, HM, HA, and HT. So there are 12 ways. So it's quite consuming of time when we use this method. So our formula here given n factorial over n minus r parenthesis factorial. So it says here that in how many ways we can arrange 2 letters from the word math. So our n here is 4 because there are 4 letters in the given word, and r is 2 because the task is to arrange 2 letters from the given word. So solution 4 factorials over 4 minus 2 factorials. So since it's factorial, 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, it's 24 divided by 2. So 24 divided by 2 is equal to 12 ways. So there are 12 ways the same as this, but it's quite consuming of time when we use this. When we use this, it's really easy and not consuming.
There are 2 types of permutation. Number 1 is permutation with repetition, and number 2 is circular permutation. Number 1, permutation with repetition. If there are n possibilities for the first choice, then there are n possibilities for the second choice. and so on, multiplying each time. So we allow to repeat the letters or objects from the word itself, repeat or repetition. So the formula is P is equal to n times n times n and so on. Or we just simply wrote n raised to r. So n stands for total numbers of objects and r is number of choosing objects from the set. So given letters A, B, C, group it into two letters. So the possible outcomes of it, AA, BB, CC, AB, AC, BA, BC, CA, and CB. So there are 9 ways, but it's quite consuming of time. So we just simply wrote the formula n raised to r. So the solution would be 3 raised to 2 or 3 times 3 is equal to 9. So there are 9 ways just like it.
Number 2. Circular permutation is the number of ways to arrange n distinct objects along a fixed circle. There are important points about circular permutation. Number 1. If the clockwise can be distinguished, then the total of number of circular permutation of n elements taken altogether. So the formula is P is equal to n minus 1. So example, in how many ways can 5 people seated in a round table? So given n is equal to 5, so the solution is P is equal to n minus 1 factorial. So P is equal to 5 minus 1 factorial is equal to 4 factorial. 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is equal to 24. And number 2, if the clockwise and counterclockwise orders cannot be distinguished, so formula is P is equal to n minus 1 factorial over 2. So for example, find the number of ways in which 10 beads can be arranged to form a necklace. So given is 10 beads and solution is P is equal to n minus 1 factorial over 2. So P 10 minus 1 factorial over 2 is 9 factorial over 2. 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 over 2 times 1 is equal to 181 per 140 ways. So that is the 2 important of circular permutation.